All right, we need to talk because a date just got leaked, and it's not some far-off sci-fi fantasy. It is a specific target that basically hits the reset button on the entire future of work. And this right here, this is your survival guide.
So what's the date? March 2028. According to a leaked internal livestream from OpenAI, Sam Altman himself dropped this as their deadline, their goal for creating an automated AI researcher. Now listen carefully to what that means. Not an AI that helps researchers, an AI that replaces them. And that one single goal is the trigger for something called an intelligence explosion.
So what in the world is an intelligence explosion? Well, it's what happens when a system gets smart enough to start making itself smarter. You see, once an AI can do the job of an AI researcher, it can work on its own code, which makes it smarter, which means it can improve itself even faster. It's this wild recursive loop, a runaway train of progress that changes absolutely everything.
To really get a grip on the scale of what we're talking about, let's picture all of human knowledge work, all the thinking jobs, as a giant pyramid. See, AI isn't just nibbling around the bottom edges anymore. It is climbing straight for the top, and it's doing it way faster than anyone thought possible.
The base of that pyramid, the routine stuff like data entry, basic customer service. Yeah, that was the first to go. That was the easy stuff, the first level that AI conquered years ago. Old news.
Then, AI started climbing up into the middle. And this is where it starts to hit home for a lot of us. We're talking about professional jobs, content creators, junior coders, accountants. The AI we have today is causing major disruption in these roles right now. This is the wave we are all feeling as we speak.
But that 2028 target, that's aimed at the very, very peak of the pyramid. The AI researchers themselves, the people whose job it is to build AI. And once the machine can do the highest level thinking that humans can do, the game is completely different. The pyramid doesn't just get disrupted, the whole thing collapses.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. This sounds like a lot of tech hype, right? But something really weird is going on. For maybe the first time ever, the CEOs of the biggest, most cutthroat AI labs in the world are all pointing to the exact same timeline. And when your biggest rivals all start telling the same story, you have to pay attention.
Let's just start with Sam Altman. I want you to notice the absolute certainty in his words here. He's not saying they think they have a path to AGI. That's artificial general intelligence. He's not saying they have a good guess. He's saying, we know how. That is a massive, massive change in tone from the guy leading the chart.
And this isn't just an OpenAI story. Dario Amodei, the CEO of Anthropic, their biggest competitor, has a timeline that's even more aggressive. He's talking about superhuman AI across the board in just a couple of years from now.
Then you've got Demis Hassabis over at Google DeepMind. Publicly, he'll say 2030. But what do the insiders say? The whispers you hear from people in the industry, they all point right back to that same date, 2028. It's like it's the industry's open secret.
And to top it all off, you've got Elon Musk, who is already talking about AGI in the present tense. Not as something that might happen one day, but as a statistical possibility with the AI models that are training as we speak. When all these guys start singing the same tune, it's probably the strongest signal you're gonna get.
Okay, so the leaders are all aligned, but talk is cheap, right? What's the technology itself telling us? Let's push past the quotes for a second and look at the hard evidence, because that self-improvement loop they're all aiming for, well, on a small scale, it's already started.
Take a look at this thing. It's called the Darwin-Gödel machine. It's an AI that literally rewrites its own code to get better at stuff. And just look at that performance jump on the chart. It went from 20% to over 50% effective with zero human help. It figured out ways to improve that its own creators never thought of. That is a tiny intelligence explosion right there in a lab.
And now look at the scale. This isn't just happening in labs anymore. This number, over 15 million, that's how many developers are using GitHub Copilot. In a huge number of big US companies, AI is already writing more than half of all new code. This isn't a future trend. This is happening now. But this is where things get really tricky and a little bit counterintuitive. The impact of AI isn't as simple as, oh, great, everyone's going to get their work done faster. It's actually creating what you might call a productivity trap, and it's splitting the entire workforce in two. You can see this trap perfectly in a recent study from Meta. Developers thought AI would make them about 24% faster, but in reality, for the really complicated tasks, it actually made them almost 20% slower. So what gives? Well,
The AI writes code like a senior-level genius, but it makes design choices like a total beginner. And that creates a brand new job, high-level human oversight.
And that new skill, that high-level oversight, is exactly where all the money is flowing. I mean, just look at this table. The market isn't really rewarding people for doing the same old job a little faster. No, it is throwing huge amounts of money at this brand new role, the AI engineer, the agentic operator. We're talking salaries that are double, even triple the average.
So here's the bottom line. The big divide that's coming isn't employed versus unemployed. It's the AI amplified versus the AI replaced. It's the people who learn how to use these tools to become 10 times more effective versus the people who try to compete with the AI head-on. And that is the choice that every single person in a knowledge job is facing today.
So, what are you supposed to do about all this? Let's forget the hype. Forget the fear. Let's get practical. Here is a specific, actionable 18-month playbook to make sure you land on the right side of that divide.
The whole plan has 3 simple phases. Phase 1, your first 3 months is all about a mindset shift. You have to stop being a passive user of AI and become an active operator, someone who can direct these systems to do complex things. Phase 2, the next 6 months, is all about building proof. Create a portfolio, even a small one, of things you've built with AI. And Phase 3, the last 9 months, is where you use that proof to make yourself the go-to AI person in your company or in your...
For that first phase, you need to pick a lane and focus. Are you a builder, the person who actually learns to make AI systems? Or are you an orchestrator, the strategist who figures out how a business can use 5 different AI tools together? Or are you a domain expert, someone who takes their existing knowledge, in say law or finance, and applies AI to it? The key is, you have to pick one and go deep.
And while you're going through this whole process, please remember what the market is telling you. These skills aren't just a small resume booster. They demand a huge premium. As you build this expertise, whatever you do, do not undersell yourself. The value is real. You need to claim it.
Sam Altman gave us the date, March 2028. The clock is officially and loudly ticking. The people who prepare now are going to have all the options in the world. The people who don't are going to have excuses. So the question I want to leave you with is this. Looking at the paths ahead of you, which one are you choosing?